So we're going to jump right in, and we are going to go in with the Bobbi Brown primer. It's a moisturizing primer, and I love this primer so much. It is thick, but I feel like it covers the entire face and it gives you a really good base. And you can use it as a moisturizer as well. I had already moisturized my face, so I just went in with that. And then next, I'm going to use my little mini fan. That's a tip. When you don't have a lot of time, just use your fan. It helps you get through it a lot quicker. Then I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Primer. This is the Hydro Grip Primer from e.l.f. And I'm just going to put this mostly in my T-zone, but I'm kind of going to pat it everywhere just to make sure it's even. And this is just going to make sure that that makeup adheres to my face all day long. Then going right back in with that fan. Let me know if you guys want a link to the fan. I can send it to you. It is on Amazon. It was super affordable. So then what I'm going to do next is I am going to mix my foundation shades. I'm going to mix the NARS Radiant foundation in Macao and in Tahoe. That's the only way that I can get my shade. And as you'll see, it's still not the exact shade, but it's going to oxidize. I'm going to have to add a little bit more of the lighter shade just because my chest, my neck is all different colors. So it's kind of hard to get like the exact color. So I'm just first going in and putting it on with a brush. But then you'll see what I prefer to use to really blend is going to be a wet, damp sponge. So what I typically do is just take my big bottle of my Evian spray, put it on my beauty blender, and then I just blend away. So as you can see, as I'm blending, it is just a hair too dark. And I'm noticing that as I'm putting it on. And of course, it'll oxidize, and it's better for your makeup to be darker than lighter. But what I'm going to do is just, you'll see in a second, I'm going to take a couple of drops, dips, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to take a couple of the Tahoe, which is the lighter color, and I'm going to put a few of those on my face. And you always kind of really want to let it kind of sit when it's blending out to make sure you see. But I kind of already knew, yeah, this is going to be just a tad bit too dark. So I went to that Tahoe and just put a few little dollops and then just blend it into the skin. And that's just going to help even out the color that's already there. And you just want to keep blending. Like, you don't want to go into the world looking like an unblended mess, especially in the heat. If you're going to wear a foundation, you want to make sure you are blending it and taking the extra steps to make sure. So as you can see, this is slightly lighter, but it's still going to have to actually oxidize. But once I put on my concealer, which I'm doing right now, this is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and this is in the color Honey. And I'm going to put this under my eyes. I'm going to put it on my chin. I'm going to put a little bit on my forehead. And then I'm going to put a little bit under my nose, just like that. And then that's pretty much that. And then we're going to go right back, you guessed it, into the bronzer or contour. And this is going to be in the color Truffle. And this is from Fenty Beauty. You could pick this up at Sephora. And I noticed it when I was doing my edits of the video. I forgot to put the contour on my right side. And clearly I was not paying attention in the mirror. So don't do like I did and forget the other side. And just put that on the face. And then I'm going to spray with my Fix Plus. And this is just going to get the face a little wet. And it's kind of like a fixing spray. People think it's a setting spray. I know now they do call it a setting spray. But I prefer to use it just to bring the moisture back into my skin and make sure things don't get too dry. So then I'm going to take a stippling brush. And first, while that concealer is drying a little bit, I'm going to go into that contour. And I'm just going to lightly tap it in. That's what you'll see me doing right there. Just lightly tapping it in. And it's so funny. As you guys saw, I didn't put anything on the other side. So I don't know what I call myself tapping in. But I was tapping it in. And just going to make sure you especially get around the forehead, around your chin. You want to make sure you don't want any harsh lines. And then I was breaking out on my face too, like, and I typically don't break out, so I don't know what was going on. But as you can see, my face is starting to even out. And then I'm going to go in with a Real Techniques, like a tiny sponge, and I'm going to just blend in the concealer that way. For a while, I was using a brush, but I've been finding lately that I just prefer, especially in the summer when you want that more glowy look, not necessarily super matte. At least me, I like to use the sponge because I feel like it kind of more so melts into the skin versus sit on top of the skin like it does with the brush. And you'll just kind of see me just lightly blending that into the skin. And you want to keep blending. Like, even if it feels like it's taking you forever to blend, keep blending, keep looking, keep seeing what needs to be blended, because you don't want to set it and you haven't blended it. And set around the edges. Make sure it is set. And it may take a while, but you just want to keep doing it. You want to keep looking at it until everything looks how it's supposed to look. And you see, I'm looking at my head and I'm like, nope, that contour doesn't look right. So we're going to go back into it. And you guys see those two humongous bumps that I was telling you about. So next, another trick that I wanted to try was I mixed the Huda Beauty banana setting powder, and I mixed it with the Laura Mercier translucent powder and honey. And when I tell you, baby, this kept the face together. And I feel like it looked so pretty, like after it's set. And I'm just setting like my smile lines, and I'm also going to just make sure that I set under both eyes really well, especially because I knew I was going to a hot event. And I didn't put any concealer under my contour, but this just kind of makes your contour pop more. That's a little tip. And just really making sure that it is going into the skin, not setting on top of the skin. And then what I'm going to do is get my contour. I could have cut this part out, me looking for it, but I was clearly looking for my Juvia's Place bronzer. And this one is in the color tan, I believe. And I'm just going to take that and put it in all the places that I put the liquid / cream contour. I'm just going to put this powder contour on top. And this is just going to set it and add that depth and dimension and bring that color into the skin and make my features pop a little bit more. So I try to be kind of gentle with this part. And I try to really, like I said, pay attention. And it was kind of, like I said, that other side with the bumps was acting up a little bit. Then I go into the lighter shade and I just lightly contour my nose. And I contour right into my eyebrows, which is what you'll see me doing right there. And so once that is done, what I like to do is I'm going to go into my blush. And this is the Juvia's Place blush. And I'm going to go into that coral color and just put it lightly on my cheeks. Then I'm going to take this really big brush from Real Techniques. I can't remember the name of it, but it works wonders. It's a like huge Real Techniques brush, and I just use it to dust all the powder away. And you want to be careful with this part because you really want to make sure you're not leaving any powder behind. You want to get all up in the crevices, get all up in your eye if you have to, and just really get that powder off because you don't want to look crazy. And yeah, you want to look at it from different angles, and you see I got that little bit that was lingering there. And then I'm going to spray my face down first with the Fix Plus again. This is just going to put that moisture. I just put a whole bunch of powder on my face. This is going to bring some moisture back in. Going to take that fan, lightly go over, let it dry down just a little bit. That fan be working miracles, working miracles. And then we're going to go into the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, a oldie but a goodie. I'm just going to spray my face down with this as well. Then I'm going to go in with my Beauty Blender, the butt side, and I'm just going to literally push that into my skin. You see me just pushing it into my skin like so. And then lastly, I'm going to go in with the One Size spray. And that is a super thick spray. It's the One Size spray by Patrick Starr, I believe. And then I'm just going to do lightly fill in my eyebrows because I just had got them tinted and threaded maybe like a week ago. And so I didn't really need to do too much. But I have sparse eyebrows and some of the tint was kind of coming off. So I was like, let me fill in at least just a little bit. And then you see, I'm like, let me grab this mirror and let me just go ahead and fill these in just very lightly. And to fill in my brows, I use the Benefit brow pencil. And I believe I use the shade 5 or 5.5. And just lightly going to fill those in because they were already pretty much filled in. But as you can see, there's just a few gaps in there. So just kind of filling in the gaps so they look fuller since I do have a full face on. If I was just going out for a regular day, I probably would not have filled them in. But because I was going to an actual event, I was like, let me fill them in because I do have very sparse eyebrows. And as I'm doing the recording right now, my brows, the tint has completely gone off. But I just haven't felt like filling them in. But a little trick for that is to get you like a tinted brow gel and just fill your eyebrows in with that on a day-to-day. And that's what you'll see me doing next. Just really trying to perfect them. And my eyebrows are definitely cousins and not twins. And I'm going to take a brush, a spoolie, and just spool that into my eyebrows as you see me doing here. Just literally brushing it into my eyebrows and kind of going from there. I'm going to put a little bit of that brow gel I was telling you guys about on there. And this is just from e.l.f. It's their brow gel. And that's just going to fill in any other gaps and also keep the brow straight. Then I'm going to go into my Juvia's Place, the Nubian palette. And I was kind of in a rush, but I still wanted to put just a tad bit of eyeshadow on. So I just put this all over the eyes. Just very simple, not really doing too much. But I got so many compliments on my makeup this night. Just very simple. And so then I had put my lashes on off camera. They are the Lily Lashes in Crescent. And for my lips, I'm using MAC's Chestnut Lip Liner. And then what I did next was I went into my Dose of Colors, Knock on Wood. And this is one of my favorite nude colors because I feel like it just goes with everything, just popping my lips a little bit. And then I went into MAC, Oh Baby, classic. Then I just went back and relined them again because I kind of like my liner to stand out, and then just popped it. That way it just kind of blends directly into the look. So again, this is the complete look. So if you want to see more looks like this, just be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. It's your favorite Pretty Girl Peeps. Bye.